Hey, horror fans! Once again, it is me, the Horror Miser Money G. Yes, let us welcome. It is a brand new year. That means it is a brand new year of horror. Now, we've all said goodbye to 2024. It was a great year for horror, and now it's time to start the new year off life as I'm going to talk about all the upcoming horror films that are coming out for 2025.
Y'all ready for this?
Hey, horror fans! Once again, it is me, the Horror Miser Money. Yes. We have a lot of horror films that we're looking forward to 2025. Obviously, we have some favorites that are coming out this year. We have Megan 2.0 is coming out in 2025. Finally, we have a new film for 28 years later. Guillermo del Toro is coming out with his version of Frankenstein. He's coming out with that. We also have what was a legacy sequel where we have Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prince Jr. are actually coming back. And I Know What You Did Last Summer. It's an untitled picture. It's supposed to be this new cast, but Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prince Jr. coming back to reprise their roles from the first two. I Know What You Did Last Summer film. So we'll talk about that later when I get to that. So a lot of interesting new horror films coming out this year. So let's get started, shall we? Now, before we get started, these release dates are to be determined. That's what we have right now. Some of the films do not have a release date yet, but right now, most of all these films are scheduled to be coming out on this year. Obviously, they're subject to change depending upon what happens in the movie studios. But the first one we have coming out is The Wolfman. Yes, this is Lee Manel's follow up from his fantastic Universal Monsters the Invisible Man that came out in 2022. This time he's following it up with The Wolfman or just Wolfman. Now, again, this was written and directed by Lee Winnell. It actually stars Christopher Abbott and Julie Gardner. Julie Gardner from the Ozarks TV show. And I believe as though it's following a little different take. It's not based in the woods or anything like that. All we know is we have this family is supposed to be moving out to his family's farm. They run into an accident. Obviously, he gets attacked by a creature, and then he suffers some changes. Now, I do understand that some footage was leaked online about what the Wolfman is supposed to look like. I don't think that's the final product because to me it doesn't look right at all. But I'm looking forward to seeing to what Lee Manel is going to come up with as far as the Wolfman is concerned. This film is scheduled to be released on January 17th. So we don't have that far much to go. So January 17th, Lee Manel's Wolfman. Next up, we have a film written and directed by Ryan Coogler. This one is called Sinners. This one stars Michael B. Jordan. He's playing a dual role as twin brothers in the Old South where something weird is going on. From what I understand, it has to do with vampires, although they haven't really released that out yet. Based upon their trailer, we know that there something really bad is happening right there, not only dealing with the prejudice back in that time during the South, but looks like something supernatural is happening. This film is scheduled to be released on the April 15th. So, yeah, Michael B. Jordan in a horror film called Sinners. Next up, after a long hiatus, we have the next entry in the Final Destination film series. This is just Final Destination. Yes. One of Tony Todd's final films, he's going to be in this one. He's going to be once again reprising his role as William Bloodworth. He's basically been in all these roles. From what I understand, Beck Basinger, who actually played Courtney Whitmore and DC Stargirl, she's actually going to be in this one as well. There's no real type of plot that we have right now, but basically, obviously, we're going to see someone have a premonition. A whole bunch of people will die. Unfortunately, they be able to get out of it, and unfortunately, they're going to die in the order that they were supposed to die in because death feels cheated. So I cannot wait to see this latest version of Final Destination Bloodlines is coming out on the May the 16th. And as I stated before, earlier before, yes, we have a legacy sequel with I Know What You Did Last Summer. Now, I don't know if that's the actual title that they're having when you go on the IMDb. It says untitled, I Know What You Did Last Summer. Now, basically, this is a direct sequel from the second film that starred Brandy and Jennifer Love Hewitt. In that particular film, this I still know what you did last summer, and it's nothing to do with I think it was a Prime Video remake. But I know what you did last summer that came out a couple of years ago. I enjoyed it. I like what they tried to do. They tried to do something different, but this movie has nothing to do with that particular show. Unless I said it before, Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. are returning to reprise their roles. Obviously, we have this new group of people who do something very terrible. They decide not to tell anybody. And next thing you know, about a year later, they get these notes saying, I know what you did last summer. And weird shit happens. Will we see the return of the slick raincoat killer with the hook in his hand? Who knows? This movie is scheduled to be released on July 18th. So the next film is I Know What You Did Last Summer. Now, if we all thought how much we enjoyed Longleave, Osgood Perkins' next movie is called The Monkey. Yes. It's about these two brothers that wind up having this type of a toy, this toy drummer monkey. They get rid of it, and a weird shit starts to happen, and they decide to get rid of it. And several years later, the monkey comes back, and more weird shit starts to happen. It's supposed to be a horror comedy. This is based upon a 1980 short story by Stephen King. Obviously, it stars Theo James and Tatiana Maslany and Elijah Wood. They're going to be starring in this particular film. Again, this is Osgood Perkins' follow-up film from Longlegs. This is scheduled to be released on the 21st of February. Looking forward to seeing The Monkey. Next up is the latest and I guess you could say final entry as far as the main series of The Conjuring is concerned. This is called The Conjuring Last Rites. Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson once again starring again as Ed Lorraine Warren. This was going to be directed by Michael Chavez. He's going to be directing this particular film. There is no plot to this particular story as far as what this is going to be. All we know is that it's going to once again deal with Ed Lorraine Warren as far as what they probably one of their supposedly true cases that they supposed to resolve. But we believe this is supposed to be the last story, as I would say, as far as Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson are concerned. I'm pretty sure that if the film does well, they want to continue on with this franchise. It's one of the most successful horror franchises as far as the Conjuring is concerned, as far as with the three films that they have, along with the Annabelle films, along with the Nun films that they've had. And I'm pretty sure they're going to have some other films that they want to be able to do when it comes to Conjuring. But right now, The Conjuring Last Rites, this is supposed to be due out on September 5th. Here's an interesting film right here. It's called The Ritual. Now, according to what I've read, this movie stars Dan Stevens and Al Pacino. Basically, there are two priests that decide to go on this very long and punishing exorcism of this poor child that's possessed by a supposedly demon. And the months, I guess, months and weeks of how they tried to exorcise the demon. And it's supposed to be a very powerful horror film. This was directed by David Mendel. Really haven't heard anything else other than the synopsis that I have. There's been no trailer for it. Yes, movie's supposed to come out on the April the 14th. I mean April the 18th. Really don't know anything much other than stars Al Pacino. Imagine Al Pacino as a priest. That's going to be pretty interesting. And we know what a great actor Dan Stevens has. He's had a great year last year, obviously from Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire, and Abigail that he did last year. So I'm looking forward to seeing The Ritual. No surprise that we're getting more from Fear Street after the success that they had. I think it was 2 years ago with their trilogy of films that was on Netflix from all the way from 96, 76, and 1666. Now they're going to have this film called Fear Street Prom Queen. It's going to be pretty interesting. Apparently, we're going to have this prom set up in Shady Side, the same area, town that it took place in a trilogy that we saw 2 years ago, where a group of girls going to try to go for prom queen, and all of a sudden something weird happened. They all start dying one by one. Obviously, these are the books that are written by R.L. Stein. I believe this is going to be released on Netflix too, but as of this time, there is no release date as when it's coming out only on Netflix on this year. It's written and directed by Matt Palmer, and it looks like it's going to be pretty interesting to see how this is going to be. So let's get ready for another round of Fear Street. This time, Prom Queen. Now we have a horror movie coming out from director Steven Soderbergh. This one is called Presence. Now I've seen the trailers coming out. This is pretty interesting. It looks like we have this family that's moving into this house, and there is some type of a presence in there. But we're looking at it from the perspective of the entity that's there, and a lot of weird shit's supposed to be happening back and forth while we're looking what the entity is seeing. This film is actually coming out soon. It's going to be the 24th of this month, and the film stars Lucy Liu, Julia Fox, and Chris Sullivan, and of course Steven Soderbergh. What a great director he is, and I'm looking forward to see it because I really haven't watched any of his films. But since it's a horror film, I can't wait to see the present, see how good this film is going to be. Now, as I stated before, Guillermo del Toro has been working. I guess this is his pet project. He's always wanted to do a Frankenstein film, and he's finally be able to do it. It's coming out this year. It's got a nice cast too. From what I understand, it looks like he's got Oscar Isaac, Jacob, uh, Jacob Eldoro, and Mia Goth. She's going to in this one, and Lars Mikkelsen. He's going to be, and David Bradley. So he's got a nice cast. Charles Danson's in this one too right now, but we didn't really have anything else other than he directed and written this particular film. We all know Gil Toro is a great, fantastic writer, a great director. We love all of his creature effects that he has. So I'm very looking forward to seeing his version of Mary Shelley's great novel, Frankenstein. And of course, one of my highly anticipated horror films coming out this year is Megan 2.0. Yes, that nice, lovely doll that everyone fell in love with, except for one person. She can't stand them. But Megan is coming back. Megan 2.0. Everyone loved Megan when she came out in 2022. Uh, the advanced AI doll that run amok. It's going to be good to see her back again. Obviously, we're going to have Allison William and Violet McGraw there coming back to her roles. Aaliyah Cooper that wrote the first film, she's writing this one right here. I really can't wait to see how they're going to bring Megan back and what type of mischief she's going to cause this time. And I hope they actually decide to add a little more violence. Let's see Megan try to do enough violence as Chucky does, because I want Megan versus Chucky. It must happen. Yes, make that happen, people. And of course, Megan 2.0 is supposed to be released on June the 27th. I can't wait. Now, the next film seems like a very weird, looks like a thriller horror film called Companion. Based upon the trailers I've seen, it looks kind of weird, but I really don't know that much about it. It's directed by Joel Johnstone. He directed this one. The film stars Sophie Thatcher, Jack Quaid, and Lucas Gage. Really, not much as far as the premise of this particular film, because when I look at it, all it says is that a billionaire's death sets off a chain of events for Iris and her friends during a weekend trip at his lakeside estate. And that's it. Really don't know anything else about this particular film other than when you see the trailer, it looks crazy. It looks crazy because she has her hand out, and the guy puts a candle there, and then later on, her half her arm is burning, and she's crying. Like there's one point, she's like handcuffed to looks like some type of hospital bed, and she can't leave. So it's pretty interesting what Companion is all about, because we really don't get anything from the synopsis or the trailer. And of course, like I said, we don't have long to wait because I believe this film is supposed to be released, yeah, this month on the 31st. We don't have that long to wait to find out what Companion is. And of course, I saved the best for last. Been waiting a long time, and finally we have it. the next film in the 28 Days Later saga. It is called 28 Years Later. Yes, Danny Boyle and Alex Garner once again team up to bring us the latest stage of the rage virus. And once again, these people are not zombies. They're infected with the rage virus, so they're not zombies. But he did revigorate the zombie genre. I wouldn't say invigorate. He changed it up because we have running zombies, even though they're not zombies. But that's what I believe. That's what gave Zack Snyder his influence when he remade Dawn of the Dead and decided to have his zombies running. Because I believe that running zombies are more of a threat than the bumbling, stumbling zombies that George A. Romero created back during his zombie days. Not saying that I don't appreciate them because if you're in a pack of them, you're still going to get eaten up. But running zombies, oh yes. In this particular film, Jodie Comer, Aaron Taylor Johnson, and Ralph Fiennes star, and we do believe that Gillian Murphy he's going to be once again playing his character that he played in 28 Days Later. But that's the only character that we see. There's no Naomi Harris or the little girl that was in it. I don't think she's in this particular film. It was pretty interesting to see. And of course, I simply love that trailer. Boots, boots, boots. There's no discard for the war. I can't get enough of that. So there you have it, guys. That's all the movies I'm looking for, horror movies I'm looking for it to see. There are some other horror movies that are also coming out this as well. I understand that there is a horror movie called The Bride that's coming up as well. Obviously, we have some more films from the Twisted Childhood universe supposed to be coming out this year. I believe Bambi and Pinocchio they're coming out this year with their horror movies. And we also have some more Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse horror film that coming out. I think one is simply called Steamboat. I don't know what the whole film is about, but it's supposed to take place in Steamboat, where some guy dressed and as Steamboat Willie starts attacking people on on a ship in New York. I believe those films are coming out right now. But that's basically all I have. If there's any other horror movies that you would like to see, you're looking forward to see, leave your comments in the comments below and tell me what those horror movies are. So there you have it, horror fans. That's my video for today. Hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up, like, and share. It really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. Also, if you're new here, please hit that subscriber button, ring that notification bell. That way, you be notified anytime when I put up new videos such as this one. Once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as the Horror Miser Monty G. And always remember that horror rules. And I see you in my next video. Guys, stay safe out there.